Okay, did an Airbnb for a lady here in this house, and I got a little bit of temperature complaints. There's the 2-ton, might be a 1.5 ton heat pump that we put on the top floor. So let's go take a look at that. And it had one unit here before trying to feed both floors. Oh yeah, she's pumping hot air outside just like she's supposed to. Yep. So that's a 1.5 ton heat pump. We separated the duct and put that for the top floor only, and then we changed out the heat pump package to a gas package for much better heat. Of course, right now that doesn't help us because it's hot and we're using air. Yep, nice warm air coming out of it. Pretty nice flashing. There's one of those new meters that they can read from their office, I guess. So they don't have to walk out and read meters anymore. Technology eliminating jobs. All right, let's go inside and see what we can figure out on the performance here. Nest thermostat says 74 degrees. I dropped it to 72 just to see it react. Top floor is a bit of an issue. So, a little warm up here, but not as bad as the thermostat says. So it says 84. And when you step back over here, it's not near 84, but that's a dead corner. There's a vent right here. There's only 3 vents up here. So let's see what this one is putting out. It is almost closed. Not sure why that was. Let's see what that's putting out. And then we'll look at what I think the real problem is here. All right, there's one vent in each of these bedrooms upstairs, and they are both blocked by the bed. You can see the vent back there. So I'm gonna drag this bed out of the way a little bit. There's the vent. That's the only one in this room. So, it can't really cover cubic footage of this room this way. I think they had this cleaned. We gotta try to puff it back up like it goes. Kind of similar to a hotel here. So here's where a window is, and a lot of heat comes in there. A lot of heat comes in there. This cool air is trapped under the bed and circulates its way right back out this door to the return right there where it's being drawn into. All right, let's look at the bathroom. Putting out 54 degree air. That's pretty good. That's definitely a full performance Delta. All right, let's go to the other bedroom. Same issue. Pull the bed out. There's the one vent. Ow, bumped my head on that. Well, there's the one vent right there. So, what happens is there's the air getting deflected and trapped. It's unable to get over there to that window, unable to get to this window. Now, I don't think this one's blocked as bad as the other one, because you can see a good bit of it under there. But you can also see that vent looks closed. Yep, partially closed. So let's see if opening it can make a little bit of a difference. See how bad closed it is. So it's got it to where it's blowing up right into the bed where it's blocked. All right. Now we've got it totally open. The noise went away that it was making. And now it will at least be blowing down under the bed instead of up right into the bed. Now, do I think that's good enough in here? No, I do not. But it may have improved it just a hair in here, and I don't know how they could possibly redirect that. I really don't. Or rearrange that, I meant to say. And in here, I'm not sure what they can do with the bed. I don't know if you can block that window and turn this all that way, because maybe this is the fire escape. So maybe it's okay to block that window. And I realize for aesthetic reasons, this is the way it looks the best. But we only have that one knee wall back there for the ductwork. I don't see a way to move the vent anywhere. And, you know, that's just what's happening here. So let's look at this dead corner and let's see. Okay, 82.6. So that's pretty close to what the Nest is saying, which is saying 84. But now if we come down here, just, you know, barely below the Nest, we'll see that this is just a hot, dead corner right here. That's locked. And I'm gonna assume this is sealed and insulated a little bit at least. But that's a hot attic behind there. And that's already down to 79. I'm gonna imagine that's probably going in there at 75 or 6, but we'll wait and see. So the machine is doing well in producing temperature. The furniture and the duct layout and arrangement is definitely presenting difficulties here. And it's going to have to be modified. Okay, that's 78. That's a lot different than 84. And you can look at the difference right there. That's 2 feet or so. And that Nest is saying that it's 84 right here. Now, another thing people don't do when they put up their own thermostat, who knows who puts these Nests up, and I don't know who put them up for them, but the hole behind this Nest, is it sealed? Is it caulked up, or does it have insulation behind it? I can't get into here, and I'm not going to pull it off the wall and shut it down, but whoever put that up, did they seal the wall where the wire comes through, or are we getting some hot air from this attic throwing a false reading on that Nest? And our return is taking in 78 degrees, about 2 feet, maybe 2.5 feet below the Nest. But as you saw, when we had this sitting up on top of the Nest, it was only a couple of degrees less than that. So it is hotter right here. than this air that we're taking in, which is conditioned. So a couple of things they can do here is leave the air running all the time and stop trying to, save money and cut it back and only turn it on when guests are coming, because that's not going to work out. 777, boy, that'd be a winning hand on the, roulette wheel, whatever. That's a problem. That's not going to work well. This dead corner reading the temperature, that's just tricking you. It's not really 84 up here. And that's a problem. The air is trapped under this bed and barely able to get out, and it's drawn straight back to that return. This all circulates. So it's never really getting over there as much. It might be getting some to that wall. Never really getting here. So I think that explains some of the difficulties. It's about 78 degrees right here. So I'm going to leave that alone and let it stay set there. I'm going to read the output temperature of this train unit one more time. We'll let that sit there and acclimate a minute. Okay. 54 degrees. So if we're taking in 78 right there, 77, and putting out 54, the machine it's definitely doing its job. So we've got to improve some other things for air circulation. It's not the machine. That's plain to see. All right. So we're going to get out of here and let them bring their next guest in. Like I said, this is an Airbnb that we did for some local owners here, and hopefully we can come up with some solutions. Thanks for watching.